operating beyond safety limits. Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Bravo Alpha November. This is Federal Flight Control. Request docking if you wish to land. Request approved. Assigned to landing pad 15. Bravo Alpha November. Federal Flight Control Channel open. Observe docking protocols if you wish to land. Landing permission granted. Vector for approach to landing pad 10. Warning, decrease speed immediately. Meters from touchdown.
Check again. Unauthorized loitering may trigger a lethal response.
Landing gear deployed.
Landing successful. Deploying ground services.
Avoid unnecessary destruction. Do not block the access corridor. This station operates under a docking reservation policy. Ensure you have authorization before attempting to disembark.
Landing coupler disengaged. Follow the greens on your way out.
Speed
Starport Status Update. This report presents the latest data on starports experiencing technical issues as a result of Thargoid sensor-related interference. The following starports are currently closed: Rebi Enterprise, Tsheka; Singer Orbital, Matsia; State Now Survey, Cerno; Vauculus Vision, Veroclist. The following starports continue to experience technical issues: Sturkau Port, SPOCS 253. Meanwhile, the following starports are on the brink of closure: Hunt the League of Reparation. A tri-superpower task force has launched a campaign to track down and eliminate members of terrorist group, the League of Reparation. Captain Niam Sutonia of the IISS, who is a prominent member of the task force, made this announcement. With the arrest of Riri McAllister, otherwise known as Nexus, we now hold the main coordinator of the League of Reparation in custody. Furthermore, decrypted information has revealed the location of League strongholds in two separate systems, one in Imperial, and one in Federal space. We are determined to eliminate these terrorists before they can wreak any more havoc, but fully expect tough resistance. Therefore we ask the galactic community to provide support in wiping out these dangerous extremists. The operation in Zibal will be coordinated by Zibal Power Company. Likewise, military action in Ian Palang will be supported by Ian Palang Corporation. The campaign begins on the 19th of July 3304 and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. Cobra Wing campaign concludes. A spokesperson for the Cobra Wing has announced that its campaign to build a research outpost in the Ebor system has been enthusiastically received by the galactic community. Scores of pilots supported the campaign by delivering commodities to Morris Enterprise and eliminating agitators in Ebor, thereby ensuring the safety of traders. A spokesperson for
Orbital flight engaged.
Cobra Wing released the following statement: "We want to thank all the commanders who supported this campaign. We hope that the new outpost helps us communicate with our neighbors and achieve peace. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect their awards from Morris Enterprise in the Ebor system." Unexploded nuclear missile discovered. A thermonuclear weapon, launched over 1,000 years ago during Earth's Third World War, has been discovered. The intercontinental ballistic missile was found beneath the Pacific Ocean during construction of new undersea habitation off the coast of California. Lieutenant Commander Paige Patterson, a munitions disposal specialist for the Federal Navy, gave this statement. The missile was partially embedded in the ocean floor when aqua engineering teams found it. Erosion of the casing makes identification difficult, but the design is consistent with strategic ordnance of the mid-21st century. Its thermonuclear warhead would have had an explosive yield of 45 megatons. Robotic avatar units have successfully disarmed the missile's uranium core, so the risk to local populations has been nullified. We are now treating the area for radiation leakage. The remains of the missile will be scrapped. Dr. Imogen Riang, a historian specializing in Earth conflicts, observed, "A variety of relics from World War III, which took place between 2044 and 2055,
Lakon Bravo Alpha November, commencing automated flight control routine. Please observe docking protocols.
found over the centuries. All nuclear exchanges between nation-states were thought to be well documented, so this discovery comes as quite a shock. Although the missile's origin remains a mystery, its location near the western seaboard suggests two possibilities. Either it was a failed launch from a silo in the United States, or it was an inbound enemy missile that failed to reach its target. In the latter case, it was likely disabled by the USA's defensive laser grid, which combined ground turrets with armed satellites. This was how America avoided a nuclear detonation on its soil during the war, unlike most other continents on Earth. Thargoid cult attacked. There has been a spate of violence against the Thargoid-worshipping Thargoid cult, resulting in dozens of deaths and hundreds of injuries. Since the Church of Eternal Void declared war against the sect, its members have compelled citizens to attack Thargoid believers in many systems. Several of the sect's places of worship have been firebombed. The Thargoid cultists have offered no resistance to the aggression, and have even refused to leave burning hive chapels. Cardinal Hieronymus, representing the Church of Eternal Void, addressed a large crowd. Our loyal followers are performing the Guardian's righteous work. Those who serve the Thargoid demons are demons themselves, and we must cast them out with fire and fury. A vocal campaigner against the Far God sect, Juanita Bishop, told the media, "It might not be pretty, but what's happening now is no different to what our brave pilots are doing out there in space, defending their own kind. We will do what..."
Touchdown complete. Engaging ship restraints. Your arrival has been noted.
It takes to protect our children from these monsters. Local security forces have been slow to respond to the incidents, and few arrests have been made. Councillor Quinn D'Amico commented, "The lack of an immediate clampdown is inexcusable. The church is inciting criminal acts and persecuting a legally registered religion. I call upon the authorities to bring the full force of the law against any vigilante behavior." Identity of Nexus confirmed. Deputy Inspector Mara Klatt, of Alliance Interpol, has broken her silence regarding the League of Reparation. At a special press conference, she made this announcement. "Prior to her death at the hands of the League of Reparation, I worked closely with my predecessor Chief Inspector Kay Kilbride. She revealed how Fleet Admiral Buchanan's assassination could only have been arranged by a senior figure within the Alliance Defense Force. She was patiently amassing evidence pertaining to this, a task that I inherited when she died. Information decrypted from the League's comms network has confirmed Kilbride's suspicions. I can also confirm that the arrest of Admiral George Varma was due to false leads, misdirection on the part of Varma's protégé within the Alliance Defense Force, Rear Admiral Riri McAllister. Rear Admiral McAllister is Nexus, the League's central coordinator. She has now been arrested and formally charged with conspiracy to commit terrorism. We have released Admiral Varma with our apologies. The decrypted data has also revealed the location of 2 major League enclaves. The task force is organizing an operation to eradicate these groups, which we hope will be supported by the galactic community." Council member Jed Traeger was also present at the conference, and remarked, "We all owe a debt of gratitude to Inspector Klatt and the late Chief Inspector Kilbride. Thanks to their dedication, Nexus has at last been unmasked. Hopefully this marks the end of the League's reign of terror." An interview with Aisling Duval. Princess Aisling Duval has discussed her forthcoming marriage in an exclusive interview with entertainment journalist Solomon Helios. The princess spoke openly about many topics, including the impact of her announcement. "I was as surprised as everyone else. After the ball for the federal delegation, things moved very quickly. Perhaps I should have been more patient, but I wanted people to know my intentions as soon as possible." On her relationship with Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester, she said, "I had met Jordan a few times at diplomatic events, and we always got on well. He's much warmer and funnier than one would expect an ambassador to be. I don't know how I managed without him for so long." She also tackled criticism from Senators Amina Torval, among others. "Any negativity around this wedding is based on prejudice and fear. Shouldn't we all be free to love whomever we wish? Maybe if Zamina was capable of such an emotion, she might understand." Regarding the future, Princess Duval revealed, "Jordan and I see this marriage as an opportunity for change. Imagine a galaxy where both superpowers work hand in hand, and support each other in times of hardship. Now that's a true marriage." Solomon Helios concluded the interview with this comment. "I'd like to sincerely thank Her Imperial Highness for speaking to us, and I'm especially happy to have received an invitation to the wedding of the century. I'll be reporting on every detail of this historic union in weeks to come." Week in Review. Here are this week's major stories. Admiral George Varma of the Alliance Council of Admirals has been arrested by the task force investigating terrorist organization the League of Reparation. Admiral Varma stands accused of redirecting cargo shipments from the Alliance Defense Force to terrorist cells. It is thought that Varma is the organization's coordinator, operating under the alias Nexus. The Church of Eternal Void has declared war on the so-called Far God cult, which worships the Thargoids. The announcement has prompted a dramatic upswing in support for the Church, but security forces have issued reminders that the Far God sect is recognized as a religion, and that any hostility against its members would be considered a criminal act. a date has been set for the wedding of Princess Aisling Duval and Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester. Senator Zemina Torval remains a vocal critic of the marriage, but former federal President Jasmina Halsey has expressed enthusiasm for the union. In other news, an appeal has been launched to find the owner of a lottery ticket worth 1 billion credits. The annual Galactic Jackpot is by far the most popular lottery game, but on this occasion the winner has yet to make a claim. Purchase of the winning ticket has been confirmed, but no data is available as to who bought the ticket or when. Cobra Wing, an independent organization based in Ybor, has launched an initiative to build a new research outpost in the system. The outpost will support further research into the Thargoids, focusing specifically on the possibility of interspecies communication. Finally, Didiomandja Emperor's Grace has announced that its initiative has reached a successful conclusion. Large quantities of exotic food and drink, and mined resources, were delivered to Leyden Frost Dock over the past week, allowing the organization to host a sumptuous banquet and construct a monument in honor of Admiral Myra Tiverion. And those are the main stories this week. Details of Aisling Duval's wedding announced. The wedding of Princess Aisling Duval and Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester is now in the advanced planning stages, and a date has been confirmed for the ceremony. An official proclamation was printed in both the Federal Times and the Imperial Herald. Her Imperial Highness Princess Aisling Duval and the Honorable Ambassador Jordan Rochester are pleased to announce the occasion of their wedding on Saturday 25th of August 3304 at the Imperial Palace on Emerald in the Seamice system. Invitations have been extended to representatives of every strata of society. An honor guard of vessels from both the Federal Navy and the Imperial Navy will be in attendance. The couple's wish is for all citizens of the galaxy to join together in celebration of their union. There has been criticism of Princess Duval's choice of husband, with some Imperial citizens voicing dismay at the forthcoming nuptials. Senator Zemina Torval continued to publicly air her disapproval. This is nothing but a PR exercise, designed purely for political and financial gain. The princess should not be undermining the Empire's policies for her own personal benefit. But there is equal support for what many consider a genuine romance. Former Federal President Jasmina Halsey, now acting as an advisor to the Alliance, stated, "I am very enthusiastic about the opportunities for peace that this marriage will bring. This relationship symbolizes a new era of amity that will benefit all of humanity." Search for lottery winner. An appeal has been launched to find the owner of a lottery ticket worth 1 billion credits. The Federal Grand Lottery is the largest of its kind, regularly handing out millions of credits. The Grand Lottery also funds a wide range of social and infrastructure projects in Federation systems. The annual Galactic Jackpot is by far the most popular lottery game, but on this occasion the winner has yet to make a claim. Purchase of the winning ticket has been confirmed, but no data is available as to who bought the ticket or when. Tori Theopolis, a spokesperson for the Federal Grand Lottery, told the media, "Someone out there is rich beyond his or her wildest dreams, they just don't know it yet. We're keen to find this lucky individual so we can hand over their winnings. We ask all citizens to check with any lottery players they know. Your soon-to-be billionaire friend or relative might be very grateful for your help." Didiomandja Emperor's Grace Academy campaign concludes. The Didiomandja Emperor's Grace Academy has announced that its initiative has reached a successful conclusion. Large quantities of exotic food and drink, and mined resources, were delivered to Leyden Frost Dock over the past week, allowing the organization to host a sumptuous banquet and construct a monument in honor of Admiral Myra Tiverion. A spokesperson for the Didiomandja Emperor's Grace Academy released the following statement. "That was a banquet fit for an emperor. The food was sumptuous, the drink exquisite, and the revelry went on well into the early hours. I am certain Admiral Tiverion would have approved. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect their rewards from Leyden Frost Dock, in the Didiomandja system." Ybor Research Outpost. Cobra Wing, an independent organization based in Ybor, has launched an initiative to build a new research outpost in the system. The outpost will support further research into the Thargoids, focusing specifically on the possibility of interspecies communication. A spokesperson for Cobra Wing gave the following statement. "Without communication, there can be no understanding. Without understanding, there can be no peace. We ask the galactic community to support this campaign, which will support new research into the Thargoids and their methods of communication. In support of this goal, Cobra Wing has placed an open order for various commodities, and has promised to reward pilots who deliver these commodities to Morris Enterprise in the Ebor system. The organization has also placed a kill order on all ships on its wanted list, to ensure that those contributing commodities to the campaign can do so safely. The campaign begins on the 12th July 3304 and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. Alliance Admiral detained. A member of the Alliance Council of Admirals has been arrested by the task force investigating terrorist organization the League of Reparation. Admiral George Varma was confronted by Captain Liam Sutonia and Senior Agent Tanya Ramirez during a meeting of Admiralty staff at the Donaldson Starport in Ilioth. Despite protests, he was placed under arrest and escorted to a secure facility. Captain Sutonia gave a brief statement to the media. We have been trying to determine how the League of Reparation gained access to military-issue weapons, equipment and encryption. We now have evidence that Admiral Varma was secretly redirecting cargo shipments from the Alliance Defense Force to terrorist cells. It's highly likely that Varma is Nexus, the organization's coordinator, and we are proceeding on that assumption. The arrest has created diplomatic ripples, with federal and imperial ambassadors being summoned before the Alliance Assembly. Council member Jed Traeger told the Alliance Tribune, "For agents of the Federal
Incoming message.
Intelligence Agency and Imperial Internal Security Service to abduct an Alliance Admiral is an egregious transgression. They will not get away with this." The Council of Admirals has called for an independent inquiry to verify the accusations levied at Admiral Varma. Prime Minister Edmund Mahon made a public statement. "This has come as a great shock, but the body of evidence against Admiral Varma is considerable. I am confident that the trial will be fair, and that our own representative within the Tri-Superpower Task Force will ensure that justice is done." Deputy Inspector Klatt was unavailable for comment. Starport Status Update. This report presents the latest data on starports experiencing technical issues as a result of Thargoid sensor-related interference. The following starports are currently closed. Delay Survey, Ahamaka. Hurston Platform, Yamahan. Malfast Terminal, Pleiades Sector, HRW, D141. Mitchell Ring, Carnawack. Newman Camp, Shinrata Desra. Norgay Hub, Obambori. Meanwhile, the following starports are on the brink of closure. Alexandria Dock, Tishanab. Antonia de Andrade Enterprise, Ratemir. Bernal Station, Seoul. Diggs Terminal, Cheka. Hutton Orbital, Alpha Centauri. New Home Station, Sothis. Oleari Vision, Saigon. Reab Enterprise, Tsheka. Sharon Lee Free Market, Aurea. Fringe Religion condemns Far God Cult. The Church of Eternal Void has denounced the so-called Far God Cult, which worships the Thargoids. A spokesperson identified as Cardinal Hieronymus made this statement. "As disciples of the Guardians, we hereby declare war on those who have sold their souls to the Thargoids' demons. We vow to expunge their poisonous creed, and purge them from the galaxy." Since this statement was made, the Church has seen a dramatic upswing in support from local communities. Juanita Bishop, who has been campaigning against the Far God sect, commented, "It's about time somebody did something. The public need to get behind the Church and help them get these alien lovers off our streets." Security forces in many systems have issued reminders that the Far God sect is legally recognized as a religion, and that any hostility against its members will be considered a criminal act. Dr. Alfred Ulyanov, a leading exotheologian, discussed the situation on the Rewired news feed. A number of doomsayer cults have emerged recently, including Homo Terminus, Nova Imperium, and the Order of Extinction. But of all those I've studied, the Church of Eternal Void differs in one key respect: it offers hope. They claim that the veneration of the Guardians will prevent Thargoid Armageddon, which is probably why they're the most popular, being based on a classic binary theology of good versus evil. It's apparent that the Church is taking advantage of animosity towards the Thargoid sect to promote itself. The idea of Thargoid spies in human form, although baseless, has caused much anxiety. By declaring the cult a holy adversary, the Church validates its own existence. Week in Review. Here are this week's major stories. A series of successful operations against the League of Reparation has led to much of the terrorist group being dismantled. But while the group has been dealt a severe blow, agents have yet to identify the organization's coordinator, Nexus. Meanwhile, an independent report suggests that a French Thargoid worshipping cult may in fact be harboring undercover Thargoid agents. A leading exotheologian responded by saying that he did not believe the group to be a threat, despite its unsettling beliefs. Political journalist Cassia Carvalho has compiled a profile on Jordan Rochester, fiancé of Princess Aisling Duval, for the Imperial Herald. The article documents Rochester's family history, and raises the question of how he will balance being both a federal statesman and an imperial consort. In other news, celebrated author Rolav Redcourt has begun a promotional tour that will take him to over 50 destinations throughout the core systems. The tour will support Redcourt's new novel, Corsair King and the Storm of Desire, the 14th in a series of swashbuckling historical romances set in the 27th century. Didier Mancher Emperor's Grace has completed work on the Tiverion Academy, a flight school for Imperial Naval Cadets, and is hosting an inaugural banquet to mark the event. The organization has placed an open order for exotic food and drinks to be served at the celebratory banquet, and issued an appeal for mined resources, which will be used to construct a statue of Admiral Myra Tiverion. Finally, the campaign to supply a scientific project in Colonia has now concluded, and construction of a resort
Ship restraints disengaged. Commence departure.
management center has begun. Hundreds of independent pilots made the journey to deliver commodities to Tier Technology Services in the Tier system. And those are the main stories this week. A profile of Jordan Rochester. Responding to public interest in Princess Aisling Duval's fiancé, Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester, political journalist Cassia Carvalho has compiled a profile for the Imperial Herald. Jordan Rochester is now a household name throughout the Empire, though few were aware of him prior to his engagement to Princess Duval. But in the Federation,
Frameshift drive charging.
the Rochesters have been associated with success.
3, 2, 1.
For over 200 years. The Rochester name can be traced back to self-made tycoon Apollo Rochester, who was the biggest landowner on Biggs Colony in the Altair system. Each generation since has strived for fame and wealth, and the expression "as rich as a Rochester" has become common parlance. The family matriarch is Isolde Rochester. She is a member of Congress, an influential figure in the Liberal Party and a staunch supporter of Shadow President Felicia Winters. Isolde raised 5 children, including Jordan, and it was her accomplishments that inspired her son to enter politics. Jordan's siblings chose different paths. The eldest, Jupiter Rochester, is an executive with Core Dynamics, with a personal fortune in the billions. 15 years ago he had his own celebrity marriage, to actor Thomas Turai. They now have 2 teenage children, daughter Carly, and son Kalen. Jordan's sisters, Juno and Jocasta, have impressive Navy careers, holding the ranks of Vice Admiral and Post Captain respectively. Only Jordan's younger brother, Jonah, has no title. He is believed to be the black sheep of the family. Despite being just 34, Jordan has already made his mark. He has overseen several high-level negotiations on behalf of the Federal Diplomatic Corps, and is now a trusted envoy, noted for his charm and tact. His future will be interesting, to say the least. How will he balance being both a federal statesman and an imperial consort? And what are the wider ramifications of the Rochester dynasty aligning with the House of Duval? Even more so than his predecessors, Jordan Rochester has already ensured that history will remember his family's name. The Didier Mancher Emperor's Grace Academy inauguration. The Didier Mancher Emperor's Grace has completed work on the Tiverion Academy, a flight school for Imperial Naval Cadets. The organization is hosting an inaugural banquet to mark the event, and to honor the late Admiral Myra Tiverion. the organization's founding member, who will have a monument erected at the site. A spokesperson for the Didier-Mancha Emperor's Grace released the following statement. The Tivorian Academy will provide new recruits with cutting-edge training facilities to host a fitting.
Lakon Bravo Alpha November. Observe docking reservation protocols. Submit a request before landing.
Banquet for its inauguration will require help in sourcing a range of exotic food and drink. We also require a quantity of gold to make the monument raised in the Admiral's memory a truly spectacular tribute. The campaign begins on the 5th of July 3304, and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately.
Make way for oncoming traffic. Restrict your speed.
Colonia campaign concludes. The campaign to supply a scientific project in Colonia has now concluded, and construction of a resource management center has begun. Hundreds of independent pilots made the journey to deliver commodities to TIER Technology Services in the TIER system. Professor Alexei de la Vega,
200 meters from touchdown.
in charge of the research project, made this statement. With the construction of a research center, we will be able to monitor population spikes and manage resource allocation throughout the region. Pilots who contributed to the project can now collect their rewards from Bolden's Enterprise in the TIER system. Starport status update. This report presents the latest data on starports experiencing technical issues
Touchdown. Deploying ground
as a
services.
result of Thargoid's.
Target engaged.
Bravo Alpha November. You have entered Federation space. Docking access by permission only. Landing authorized. You are clear for approach to pad 07.
Scan detected. Landing gear deployed.
Rate of descent is good. Continue on current flight path.